Okay, Mr. Aliseda, let me ask you this. You're a product of the Valley. You've mentioned before how your family came over, and you were born in Mexico, how your family came over, but you're a Mac High grad. Talk about the environment down in Aaron's district, or what you see in the Valley for
McAllen is a very prosperous city in the Valley, and one of the reasons I think it's prosperous is because it has a thriving business community, and individuals like Aaron Pena, who understand business, who understand taxation, who understand regulation. They need to consider him again as their state representative.
Who have been around a while. You've seen
he's a 5-term incumbent, and the people of Valley need to understand what that means what that translates into in the way of power here in Austin to help the Valley. Aaron was here. He voted his district. He didn't necessarily vote the most conservative as I would have liked to vote, because I come from a more conservative area.
Okay.
Aaron voted his district, and people need to understand he can still vote his district and be a Republican, because being a Republican has a lot more than just spending money and doing other things. It's actually trying to be responsible with that money. It's also trying to be upfront on regulation to make sure that it doesn't stifle growth, and the Valley needs growth. We need jobs in the Valley.
Let's talk about the faith that we have and that we share in the Valley, and how the difference there in what you see.
I think Aaron's area is very similar to where I come from, which is just north of there.
Okay.
As far as my district, the life issue was very important in my campaign. I ran on it. This session we did the most pro-life legislation that has ever come out of a session in the legislature. We had the sonogram bill. We cut funding for Planned Parenthood. Aaron and I were both on that issue, on top of that issue. We met frequently with the Right to Life people and the Alliance for Life people, because we were very pro-life.
And it wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't easy, because there was so much misinformation out there, and the Democrats fought us tooth and nail on that issue. That is one issue that I don't think you can pin any Democrat, well, with the exception of maybe J.M. Lozano. I think he was voting with us on that issue. But the life issue is so important to our people of the Valley because of our Catholic faith.
And in South Texas in general, the old theme that we've been getting out of South Texas is, why does the state of Texas ignore us? Why is it that we're no longer, or that we're not participants in the process? Well, I think this session, with Jose's help and some of the other members' help, we made sure that when an issue came before us, that South Texas had a voice, that we were part of the process.
And Aaron, I love your old saying that when you're invited to dinner, you better have a seat at the table,
or else you're on the menu.
Well, and that's the unfortunate thing is, what have the Democrat policies done for the Valley? I mean, they're still in the same hole that they've been in for a long time. I think it's time that they give the Republicans a chance, especially with representation from Mr. Pena, to prove to them that the Valley can matter, because they have a seat at the table with Aaron Pena.
How about both of you, but start with you, Jose. The perception that you come to Austin or you go to Washington and there's nothing but arm twisting and that you have to toe the line, when in fact that in many instances is not the case. You were a freshman this session. Did you find that you were able to vote your district and your conscience, or is it all the inside arm twisting?
I voted my district, and I know Aaron Pena voted his district because I complained to him a lot about it, because his district is so different than mine. I mean, we're just 100 miles north, but mine's a rural district. His is more urban district.
So your vote's different.
His is a border district. Mine isn't necessarily.
Mine's a university town.
Mine is not necessarily a border district. And Aaron voted his district, and he's proof that you can be a Republican and vote your district. And there was no pressure on him to do otherwise.
Nobody pressured me. Look, the values of South Texas are the values that we reflect up here. Okay. And the real proof in the pudding is that we have elections, and I have one coming up, and I would ask the people of South Texas and the Valley if they could send me back so I could finish out the business that we have. I think we have a good team, and I think we have a great future.
You all were both well regarded, well known to have been some of the harder working representatives this session. We really appreciate you coming by.
Thank
Folks, be sure and join us again for another issue of Texas Insider. Remember, you're either an insider or you're not. Appreciate your time, representatives.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Jim Cardle.